online. Clearly, almost nobody commenting on the case has read them, and they should. The documents are shocking, not to Republicans or Democrats, but to Americans. We've outlined much of what we knew about the Flynn case in previous segments on the show, how a corrupt FBI official called Peter Strzok decided to derail Mike Flynn using any means necessary. At one point, Strzok considered charging Flynn under something called the Logan Act. The Logan Act is a 220-year-old law that in the entire span of American history has never been used to convict a single person. In fact, no one's even been indicted under the Logan Act since before the Civil War. And by the way, it's probably unconstitutional. You probably couldn't do it now if you wanted. But Strzok didn't care. His goal was to keep the investigation going, whether he had a legal justification for doing that or not. By January 4th of 2017, the FBI had already completed its investigation of Flynn, which was thorough. After 4 months of looking into Flynn, they found, quote, no derogatory information of any kind linking Flynn to Russia. Now, a fair investigation, the kind that we have a right to expect as Americans, would have ended right there. And according to the DOJ today, it should have ended right there. Quote, the department does not believe there was a legitimate basis to investigate and prosecute the designated national security advisor for communicating with a foreign ambassador and seeking to mollify geopolitical tensions in advance of the inauguration of the next president. And that's the essence of it right there. Michael Flynn did not commit a crime, and they knew it. How did they know? Because the FBI had already tapped Michael Flynn's phone, which itself is a shocking outrage, completely unacceptable in a free country that for some reason nobody in Washington seems to notice or care about. They should. Because the FBI already knew what Flynn had said in the call in detail, there was, the department announced today, quote, no justification or need to review Mr. Flynn as to his own personal recollections of what had been said.
Buckle up. We begin with a Fox News alert. It will take, the next 10 hours to give you all the news we have. We're trying to break it down as best we can. We have two breaking news stories we are tracking tonight. First, just moments ago, we received definitive evidence that the corrupt, the compromised, congenital liar, that guy that I've been telling you about, Adam Schiff, he has willfully been deceiving you, we, the American people, for years. Transcripts he's been hiding from the House Intel Committee's witch hunt into Russian, quote, interference have finally been released, but thanks to the Director of National Intelligence, and Attorney General Barr, Adam Schiff is being exposed as being a bigger liar than we even thought.
No president's above the law, but we do have separations of powers. And I think it'd be a bad precedent to compel a former president to come before the Congress. That would open up a can of worms. And for a variety of reasons, I don't think that's a good idea.
You're being asked to find your way in a world in the middle of a devastating pandemic and a terrible recession. The timing is not ideal. And let's be honest,
no shit.
A disease like this just spotlights the underlying inequalities and extra burdens that Black communities have historically had to deal with in this country. We see it in the disproportionate impact of COVID-19 on our communities, just as we see it when a Black man goes for a jog and some folks feel like they can stop and question and shoot him if he doesn't submit to their questioning. Injustice like this isn't new. What is new is that so much of your generation has woken up to the fact that the status quo needs fixing, that the old ways of doing things don't work, and that it doesn't matter how much money you make if everyone around you is hungry and sick, that our society and our democracy only works when we think not just about ourselves, but about each other. More than anything, this pandemic has finally torn back the curtain on the idea that so many of the folks in charge know what they're doing. A lot of them aren't even pretending to be in charge. If the world's going to get better, it's going to be up to you. With everything suddenly feeling like it's up for grabs, this is your time to seize the initiative. Meaningful change requires allies in common cause. As African Americans, we are particularly attuned to injustice, inequality, and struggle, but that also should make us more alive to the experiences of others who've been left out and discriminated against. So rather than just say, what's in it for me, or what's in it for my community and
What's in it for
to
me?
heck with everyone else. Stand up for and join up with everyone who's struggling, whether it's immigrants, refugees, the rural poor, the LGBT community, low-income workers of every background, women who so often are subject to their own discrimination and burdens and not getting equal pay for equal work. Look out for folks, whether they are white or black or Asian or Latino or Native American. As Fannie Lou Hamer once said, nobody's free until everybody's free. You're the folks we've been waiting for to come along. That's the power you hold, the power to shine brightly for justice and for equality and for joy. You've earned your degree. It's now up to you to use it. So many of us believe in you. I'm so proud of you. And as you set out to change the world, we'll be the wind at your back. So congratulations, class of 2020. God bless all of you.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
I don't. I've been not getting news. Like I just skim through things these days.
Because
It's so frustrating. First of all, there's too many series to follow. There's the Obamagate series.
that's
gotta follow that.
Nutcase.
Yeah, nutcase. The sitting president, the exiting president, literally hires or gets the FBI to investigate Trump.
I don't know anything about Obamagate, but I did see a takedown of Obamagate that was pretty harsh, where the guy was like, it basically relies on you having to believe a series of conspiracy theories in order for it to even hold up. And I am going to sit here right now before everyone's all like, da, 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 da. I know nothing about Obamagate. And
Yeah,
I actually don't give a shit.
That might have been an older video. No,
No, it's from last night.
Listen to Jimmy Dore's video on it. Jimmy Dore's video is excellent, and
Okay.
he breaks down exactly what the administration did,
Yeah.
and that it's illegal, and that you're essentially using the FBI to spy on Trump. And then when it turned out that all that Russia stuff that they were claiming was going to happen didn't take place, and that they knew it wasn't really happening to begin with, that what they were saying was all exaggerating and hyperbole, and they were trying to turn it into something that it wasn't.
I don't know.
Okay, you don't know.
I haven't been following it.
It's
I
not
see
good.
it, and
it's
I
all
just.
not good. It's not good because
What's the other story that we need to follow? The other
there's so many
series.
series. There's so many going on right now, right? Is Joe Biden losing his fucking mind?
Oh,
Like, do they have him locked in a basement somewhere and they're pumping him up with steroids and coke right before he does
weren't
an
they
interview?
going to do like a whole Fortnite thing where he was going to be a, what are they called, a hologram in Fortnite or something? And I'm like, this is going to be our first hologram president.
Oh, a hologram debate, right?
Do you put anything beyond the realm of possibility at the point that we're at, though, in
No.
the world?
There
Doesn't
is-
it feel like we live in a fucking simulation?
It does. Kevin Rose, Kevin Rose from Dig, he put something up on his page a couple of days ago. I retweeted it. It's the new
You're
Unreal
being
Engine.
asked to find your way
Unreal
in a world
5.
Oh, I
is
saw
middle
that.
of a devastating pandemic.
It's fucking
and a
insane.
terrible
It's
recession.
fucking insane.
The timing
It's
is
like
not ideal.
movie stuff. And
Let's
it's
be honest.
in-game action.
And
So the
disease like this
in-game action
just
now.
spotlights the
There's a
underlying
scene where
inequalities
the character
and
that
extra
you're playing, it's a
burdens
third-person
Black
game,
communities
and you're
have historically had
I believe he said
just as
25.
like-
I believe he said
just as
25.
Simulation,
Ooh,
so that you
everything
could doubt
suddenly
it.
feeling
of course,
like it's up for
built-in
grabs.
failsafe.
About how
Who's that?
Congratulations.
the
class of
Obamas,
2020.
I think.
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
No, don't get it from
do
me or
that.
you. No.
No,
No.
I am not a trusted news source. But then I'm like, but I don't know who is.
Yeah, I don't know who it is either. I'm here to talk shit, okay? And if I'm wrong, which is often, I will let you know. I'm not here to lie, but I'm here to talk shit. That's what
Yeah.
I'm here to do.
Yeah. I mean, I don't the show, we just basically make fun of how bonkers everything is. But I don't have any answers. I don't know what the freaking pathway forward out of this ship show is. It seems like it's going to get worse before it gets better, which is my fear.
Don't believe what you hear. Don't believe you're right. Every time you reveal your mind. You're caught in a wave of lies. Taste of your weakness. They feast on the blood of trust. Faceless men in fancy suits will suck your spirit dry. Liquid knives shape our mind to sell reality. What is wrong, what is right, seems like we lost our sight. Let's break the world around us. Let's break the hold inside us. Don't be hollow, don't be hollow. Let's shake the world around us. Let's break the hold inside us. Take the power and believe. Don't spend your life waiting to live. Everyday lies, the right of mechanical hearts. No regard for human lives. I'll be right. Liquid knives shape our mind to some reality. What is wrong, what is right, seems like we lost our sight. Let's shake the world around us. Let's break the hole inside us. Don't be hollow, don't be hollow. Let's shake the world around us. Let's break the hole inside us. Don't be a let's shake the world around us. Let's break the hole inside us. Don't be hollow. Let's shake the world around us. Let's break the hole inside us. Don't be hollow.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the original Red Pill Show. Today is Thursday, October 1st. Are you shitting me already? Whoa. What happened to September, man? Let's see. Welcome to another, God, it's been a while, another episode of the original Red Pill Show. Today is October 1st. Thursday, 2020. This show is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please use it at your own risk. The show is copyrighted by me and Freedom Revolution Network. No part of it can be reused, rebroadcasted in any way, shape, or form without our written consent. Finally, the show is opinionated. That's why we do it in this network, along with the other shows. You should check them out. Under no circumstances whatsoever should opinions be taken as advice. If you're seeking professional advice, don't look here. We strongly encourage you to hire a licensed if required person in his or her field there, little Tommy. Hey, man, my iPad don't work again. No. That's his name. Wake up. Broadcasting live from an undisclosed place in Illinois, or if you're not from here, Illinois, where you got a crazy fucking mayor and a governor that just wants to shut everything down. Which I should have brought the newspaper up here because I bought it the other morning when the governor here is shut down again. So people are going to lose their jobs because they're losers like me. I haven't worked in about 2 months, but it's my journey, and I'll share that in a second. I got some stuff to share. Before I do that, we are broadcasting live on podbean.com, YouTube, Facebook, and all these other fucking useless formats. So welcome. It's kind of contradictory. But before I get too much into this, I have to share and say thank you by sharing statistics with you guys. So, of course, United States of America, we're all just unified and have the highest intelligence and competent presidential candidates running for the most powerful position in the world on the television the other night, which was nothing more than a reality show. Should get into. The United States of America is number 1, Canada A, number 2, Australia, mate, the UK, India, where Richard Parker is. Oh my God, we're going to die. Brazil, Russia. Yeah, I'm going to fuck up this election too. Brazil, did I say that? Russia. St. Lucia. I love St. Lucia. Oh my God. Been there once. Sweden, New Zealand, Nigeria, Germany, Ireland, and there's Total Vagabonds in there from Ireland. Welcome. France, Denmark, Switzerland, Austria, South Africa, and 2 that are unknown, which I have no fucking idea where that's from. That kind of sounding like Bill Clinton or Demi Moore. What's up with my I did not have sex with that woman. United States of America, Colorado, number 1. Illinois, number 2. Virginia, home of John Carter. Michigan, Ohio. What else? I have to scroll up. Oregon, Texas, California, asshole, Washington, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, New Hampshire, Nevada, New York City, and 42 unknown, which I have to assume is either the military, government, teachers, firefighters, law enforcement. You're all heroes to me from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. Then we go to Canada, British Columbia. We're taking over Canada, man. Look at that. You can't see that. I can share the screen though, right? Let me see. Now that I'm just about done, which makes no sense to share this, but I'm going to anyway. La 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 la. Share screen. Make sure all the porn's off. Okay, let's go. La 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 la. Chrome tab. Stats overview. There we go. Share. I think it'll work. Oh, there you go. See? There you go. Are you seeing that? Oh, are you? It's been a while. There you go. So you're seeing that stats overview, just so you know I'm not lying to you, because I'm not running for political office. 4 from British Columbia, 2 from Newfoundland and Labrador, Ontario, Alberta, and Quebec. And then finally, Australia, mate. New South Wales, Western Australia, and unknown, which I have no fucking idea what that is. But thank you very much. The show's growing, although I never do it. And I've been guest hosting with Scarlett and then Dwayne. Clarity After Dark. And I forget Dwayne's show. Sorry. And that's the only 2 I've been co-hosting on, which is cool. Love it. Love being a guest. Very cool. But yeah, the show's growing, the network's growing. Although you would know it by the total views of some videos, we got to grow this network. You got to get your ass on here. You got to get your own show on here. I mean, it would be a great opportunity right now for listeners. I used to be a listener and in the chat room and blah, 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 Black on Freedomizer Radio. Believe it or not, I've been doing this for 12 years as a hobby. Been on 2 different networks, including this one, but I usually have gone off on my own, which kind of a hybrid here. If I want to do a podcast because I get a bug up my ass, I do it on Podbean, which is also, I just found out by reactivating my iPhone 6. I don't want to get into that. Maybe I will. That we're also on iTunes, which I completely forgot. So there's all these downloadable platforms, which I kind of wish, and I've talked to Mel about it when we were doing a show, you got to make this show easily accessible for a fucking monkey to download this show. Anybody's show, even Alex Jones. The RSS feed has to be in your fucking face wherever you go. But that's just my opinion. I don't want to get into it. Just my opinion as a listener and as someone that's hosting a stupid fucking podcast. Okay. So there's that. Hello, Addie. Let's see. Esther Addie is in, is that right? In Podbean. So welcome. Let me jump back to SteamYard. I need a freaking engineer assistant to do all this crap. Okay, there we go. Didn't share screen. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay. So there we go. Oh, hello from Texas. Okay, here we go. Dwayne's in the chair. Total vagabonds, like I said. Ireland, hello. Matt from Texas. And Matt, is it the same Matt? There's two Matts. Yeah, it's the two Matts. So two Matts. One for the back door and one for the front door. Ooh. All right. So what's going on? We got one viewer. I really doubt that. This lies. I found out that it lies. In listeners and all that kind of crap. So I don't really pay attention. One person, 1,000 people, 10,000 people. I don't really fucking care. Doesn't matter to me. Oh, the call-in number. I'll put that in there now because I don't want you guys calling when I'm doing my opening of my show. It's not because I'm an asshole. Well, I guess I can't be an asshole, but I mean, who can't? Let's say 815 00912. Okay. So that's that. If you want to call in. Now, the difference with my show is I don't have a format. Although I do want to talk about the frickin' TV reality show, which was a joke with Joe Biden and President Trump, Vice, what's he want to be called? Well, I could probably call him whatever he wants because he has no idea where he is, let alone what position he's running for. But Vice President Biden and President Trump. Okay. And do you like this? Look at this shit. So I'm messing with the gradient on the green screen. And if you're watching this on video, there's like a red pill, blue pill door. The door behind me, the door behind me is painted a shade of green. So it's acting as a green screen. So it's like you walk through that door and you're in the red pill, blue pill room. Okay, Neil? And then here's a big fucking red pill for you to swallow. Or you can swallow a blue pill like most of you fuckers are anyway, because you don't get it. This show is to wake you up and make you think different. That's it. Don't think like me. Don't think like anybody. Think for yourself. But see, we're all indoctrinated in with the news and party affiliations and school and newspapers and the internet and social media and all this shit that you're told how to think. Wake up. Okay, that's it. That's it. Red pill or blue pill. It's up to you. Or you can come through that fucking door and come into the red pill room. Okay, so I thought that was really cool though. But I don't know if I should block it off or not. I got to reposition myself. All right. So, like I said, you want to call in? I got to go to the voice thing. Now, the thing about my show is this. It's wide open. Oh, and I got to say this too. So, Bonnie, who's a huge supporter and listener of the Network of All shows, has complimented me on sounding like or reminding her, I'm going to put words in her mouth, of Art Bell. Now, I know who he is. I never listened to him. I think he's dead, actually. That's what Scarlett said. But she was a huge fan of him. And I guess he used to have Satan. Was it Satan? Was it what was it? I don't know, but it was definitely aliens or time travelers that wanted to call. If they wanted to call in, he had a designated phone line for them. So I don't want to be accused of plagiarism or ripping people off or whatever, but I am going to say this because time travel fascinates me. And of course, if Satan wants to call in, he's more than welcome. He's actually called in once on the show. So he's always welcome. But I also want time travelers, okay, at a risk of sounding like a ripoff, because time travel has always fascinated me. And I have listened to some episodes on YouTube from Art Bell when time travelers called in. And Scarlett shared a phone conversation with me. And from there, and I was floored. I was fucking floored. So, unlike other shows, that phone number, 815-290-0912, you can call in about anything you want. But I also want time travelers to call in, because that just fucking fascinates me. Whether it's true or not, whether it's a scam, whether it's trolls, I don't really care. It makes you think. It makes me think. So that's always open for that. But no matter what I'm calling about, you can call in about whatever you want. I don't care. Even if it goes 180 degrees or into Satan himself or time traveler. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to screen calls. It's just me in front of my computer. And I want you to call in and be part of this show. Because you never know. It may push you to do your own show, which I encourage you to do. Start off with, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of YouTube because they end up fucking you in the ass in the end anyway. But I like doing a Podbean thing. Podbean's really, it's cheap. It's easy to do. And I encourage you to do that. But you can look up other podcast services. But for me, I think it's the best. It costs you anywhere from $9 a month to $14 a month to whatever, which is a couple cups of Starbucks coffee a month. So you can handle that. Okay. I don't have any money to do that. Yeah, right. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, it's been a while. I think you were Total Vagabonds was on or popped in when I was with Scarlett visiting her. I'm going to be too detailed. Yeah, that was fun. But fuck. Really? Midnight? Clarity of Midnight. Highly suggest that show with Scarlett Anonymous. And I popped in. I was invited. I took her invitation. And I had a great time where I was at. So I don't want to elaborate too much on that. I will start talking about me, though, because it's my show. And I like sharing. Sure, because this is like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Sure, what am I doing? Gets Tim's angry. Again, no, I'm not, though. So I left Colorado like 2 months ago. Haven't been employed, pretty much by choice, but not really. And I'm on my way to Florida. Now, this is weird. I went and saw a psychic about 5 years ago. I've seen 2 psychics in my life. Am I supposed to look at the camera? Like I'm on TV or something? So I don't like this camera shit because I don't know. And then when you're an actor, so I hear, you're not supposed to stare at the fucking camera. But when you're doing a show, you're supposed to stare at the camera like you're talking to your viewers or whatever. Confusing as fuck. I don't like it. Okay, so I once saw a psychic like right when I started getting divorced. And she said, well, I see you going to Colorado, but I see you leaving, going to Florida. I'm like, I'm not going to Florida. What are you, nuts? Wrong. You're wrong. I want my money back. Well, due to, I don't know, it's not one thing, but the energy is pointing to Florida. And I've been taking a break, save some money. It's the longest time I've ever been without a job. And I'm going to Florida. And why I've been here figuring things out in Illinois, just the other day, the governor opened Florida 100%, and they're not turning back. Whereas in this state, the governor is putting a shitload of restrictions on people again, and people are losing their shit. So you crush the economy. This isn't political. This is common sense. You close the economy down, you hurt people. And the way I look at it is this. You want to wear a mask or not a mask, it's up to you. But you're either going to die from COVID or you're going to die from starvation without a fucking job. So that's your choice. And I don't want to get into it any more than that because I'm sick and tired of the whole coronavirus bullshit. I mean, the doors closed. There could have been a lot more done, and nothing was done except shutting down air travel from China and some other places. But other than that, it was like a hot potato. It was passed around. And as far as that's concerned with leadership from everybody, it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. We called it out on this network that something should have been done right off the bat, and something didn't sound right. And we were right. And it's just too late now. The horse is out of the barn. What are you going to do? Well, you can get a vaccination. How about no? So everything's being pointed for me to Florida. So I'm going to give Florida a shot because I can. And that's what I'm going to do. But I encourage you to go by your gut, to go by not what the TV's telling you, not what your favorite party's telling you, but go with your gut instinct, whatever that's telling you to do, and do it. Because it sure as hell ain't my will to go to Florida. And I shared the story with the psychic. I don't want to go to fucking Florida. Are you kidding me? But I am. So we'll see how that turns out. All right. So let's get into the total TV reality show, which I know it was going to be when President Trump was elected. I go, here we go. We're going to be entertained with a TV reality show. And I'm going to touch on the debate a little bit. Then I'm going to touch on the tax bullshit. And I'm going to explain it to you guys. Being a business owner, successful and failed business owner of 20 years. I'm going to explain taxes to you guys. All right. Because I'm tired of hearing about it. And if it was Obama or Clinton or Bush or whatever, this isn't, if anything, I'm a libertarian. Okay. My party isn't in there. I would be defending Obama or Clinton or anybody else if they were getting scrutinized for their tax returns. It's something that nobody understands. And I'm going to explain it to the best of my ability. But first, so I'm going to make some comments before I get into the debate. But it was just a firestorm. It was fucking unprofessional, crazy, stupid, totally useless, and nothing but two people up there insulting each other. And that's not what I want to see. I also, when I do this show, and I've been on other people's show, if you listen to how I talk and communicate, I don't interrupt people. I might start talking and then they'll talk, and then I usually stop talking and say, go ahead. I've also been told or confronted or commented that I don't say much when I'm a guest on somebody else's show. That's because I'm giving respect to the host of the show. I'm not going to come in and take over somebody's show. I have my own show. So out of respect, I sit back and I listen and I comment when I comment. But I'm not the captain of the ship. I'm not running the show. That's either Scarlett or Dwayne. So I sit back. I might be a smartass. I might be sarcastic. And in some cases, I'm dead serious. But the point is, I can't stand when people interrupt people. So it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. And I try to give the respect and decency of not interrupting people. And if I get interrupted, I just stop talking. And if you watch this debate, that's all it was two idiots up there interrupting each other to get the best insult or discredit of character jab in there. And I watched it for an hour and a half, but I'm disappointed that those are the two best people running for the president of the United States. Are you kidding me? Have you ever read anything from like the 1900s? I got a book by Helen Keller. Okay. She was blind, deaf, and dumb. And she wrote a fucking book. And you should read that book because the way that woman talked in the book far exceeds anybody's verbal skills, including candidates for the presidency of the United States. It just makes me sick that we're not advanced more, at least in verbal communication, respect, decency, professionalism, being a gentleman, being a lady, the whole 9 yards. It was a joke. And to be honest, and the moderator sucked. Chris Wallace was a joke. The whole thing was a joke. And if they do have a second debate, I don't know if I'm going to even watch it because it was just a verbal brawl. And nothing was really accomplished other than just showing these two guys their true colors, the disdain and hate for each other. And I don't want to see that. I mean, if you want that, go back to Facebook. That's why I got off of Facebook. There's plenty of that shit there. So go there. But I was not impressed. And I was actually kind of embarrassed being an American. What's up, guys? Please read comments. I will. I'm talking and I'm looking at other screens. So you're going to have to be patient with me. I apologize. I'm not being a jerk, but I'm juggling a lot of balls here, playing a lot of instruments. So, okay. Podbean chat room. Vin, I'm from India. Don't know much about American politics. Good. But after watching this debate, I support Biden because I saw Trump interrupting, all the time. Yeah, I know. Exactly. Interrupting. You dare. Yeah, I'm here. Please read comments. I am. You're going to have to be patient. I got a camera, 2 chat rooms, and then me talking, and now the phone just rang. So, I mean, this is, I don't want to sound like an asshole. This is not as easy as it looks. So I will jump into the chat rooms and the comments, but I got to get my thoughts out first. So I'm sorry. On top of that, you can call in. I mean, you want to make it really easy, call in 815-290-0912. It's a Skype number, not Skype. What is it? Google Voice. So you can get one too. If you have Google, just go to gmail.com, sign in, and there's a little phone pad looking thing, and that's Google Voice, and you can get your own number and you can call pretty much anywhere you want, including this show. So it's pretty cool, actually. Let me see. Now I gotta jump. I got so many windows open. Okay, let's close Pornhub. Let's close all these other fuckers. I don't have it open. I'm kidding. But there is too much open here. Okay. What happened to Podbean Live? Okay. Well, Vin, Vinny, is that what it is? Vinny, you're probably better off not knowing about politics. I mean, it's not even politics. It was more like a wrestling match. It was very embarrassing. I mean, I was born in 1964, but I think for you to go to a professional, courteous debate, respectful, would probably be back to the Kennedy days. I mean, late 60s, late 60s, maybe early 70s. And that's scary. That was what, 35, 45 years ago? I mean, it's just a joke. And I'm sure people around the world are laughing at us. Just sitting there like, oh my God, the United States is fucked. And we are. You got two clowns up there that look like it was a TV reality show, and I'm quite embarrassed about it. I just saw on Drudge Report, because that's where I get my news, that they're talking about muting the candidates' mics after their 2 minutes, which, quite honestly, I don't think that's a bad idea. You shouldn't have to interject. You have your 2 minutes, you shut up. And that's any debate. They teach you that in debate class in high school. You have your 2 minutes, your 3 minutes, your 1 minute, whatever you have. You say what you have to say, and you shut up. See, but we can't do that. There's too many emotions going on right now with this, and they're too busy trying to discredit each other instead of making some good points in what they're going to do for us peasants of the United States of America. Fuck you, Podbean censorship entered the live studio. Really? Well, okay, welcome. So I'm going to jump over to StreamYard's chat room. Okay, so nobody's saying anything. So that's fine. So I really don't have a lot to elaborate about the debate, except it was just embarrassing. Totally disappointing. Entertaining, but it's not a TV reality show. I don't think anything was accomplished. Undecided voters, I don't think they made a decision other than not to watch another debate. But I think for the most part, most people were decided before they watched this. And quite honestly, ever since Trump got elected, I looked forward to that night. But I expected to crush him. I expected Trump to crush his opponent by facts and professionalism in statements and talking to the people of the United States of America, not always looking over at his opponent. Those two acted like, and I'll give Biden credit for this, he kept trying to focus back on the camera and talking to us peasants when President Trump really didn't. And then he got an argument with Chris Wallace, so the moderator, which he did a horrible job too. So it was just a fucking shit show. I'm sorry. It was a clusterfuck. Calling it the way it was. If that was on my show, I would have ended the show. Because nothing got accomplished except to piss a lot of people off. And really, really made people disgusted. That might not be every single person. But in my opinion, for me, I mean, I laughed at some parts, but like I said, it wasn't a TV show. It was a presidential debate. And I'm very disappointed in it. So I don't know what anybody has to say about it. I don't know if anybody watched it. But I just think it was a huge embarrassment, quite honestly. So anyway, now I'm gonna explain this, and I'm done. I don't know how much time's gone by. What is it? Let's see. I don't have a time restraint anyway. I just thought it was real important to come on and talk about this, especially this part of the segment. Now, you got to swallow a big red fucking pill here, okay? Keep an open mind and keep your opinions out of this and your loyalties and your tribalism and your indoctrination, okay? And I'm going to start it out with this. Okay. Now, I've been watching a man being destroyed ever since he was elected president. called names, called this, called that, did this, did that. The guy really has been able to govern because he's been on the defense the whole time. Long story short, this man is being destroyed. He's being targeted. He can't do his job. He's got to defend himself. The whole Russia thing, all this other stuff, all these accusations, I don't want to get into it, which puts somebody on a defense. Now, I'm not saying he didn't do anything. I'm making the point here that he's being destroyed. Okay. Whether he did it or not is irrelevant. Okay. Now, if this was Obama or Clinton or Bush or anybody, I would be defending them too. And here's why. Because you're listening to a man and watching, if you're watching on streaming, a man that has been destroyed. Not only from competition and what you would assume from the outside, because that's what you're looking at. I expect to get attacked from the outside, but I was attacked from the inside. In my company, in my family. And it's something that I wish upon nobody. And you don't expect it. It's Art of War. And if you don't know what that is, then read the book. But it's the saying is like keep your friends close and your enemies closer type of thing. It's that strategy. Sociopaths love it, and I'm not getting into that. But when I see a man, or a woman for that matter, Republican, Democrat, I don't care who they are, independent, being attacked and attempted to be destroyed and discredited and ruin their character, I take notice because it happened to me. I am getting tired of hearing, oh, Amazon doesn't pay any taxes. President Trump only paid $750 in a year or two or whatever in federal taxes, which could be possible. He didn't admit it. I don't want to get into whether he did or he didn't. This is principle. This isn't personality, and it's not fact checking. Okay. It's principle in what they're doing to a person. Okay. I'm going to explain this as best as I can. I am not a CPA. I am not a tax advisor. I'm nothing of the kind. So these are my experiences and opinions, and I'm going to try to explain this to you guys. Okay. The tax system's all fucked up. It has been forever. Me to fix it, you know what you do? You just federally, I'll give you 10% of my money gross. So if I make $1,000 a week gross, you're going to take $100. That's it. I don't want to hear nothing else. No Social Security, no Medicare, no Medicaid. That might sound mean, but there's other ways to have people save money for retirement and for medical costs. That's a whole different subject. I'm saying just a flat tax rate. You take 10% of my check federally, and that's it. Leave me alone. On a state level, I would say you go by a consumption tax, because then that puts all the pressure on the government at a state level to make sure the economy is doing good. And you could do this with the feds too. Say, well, we're going to have a consumption tax, no income tax. So whatever you buy, you're going to be taxed on, and let's just make it 10%. Either way, I don't really care, but definitely on a state level, there should be a consumption tax, no state income tax. Let's say it's 5%, half of the Fed rate. Whatever you buy, there's a 5% consumption tax that goes to run the state government, period. That way, they're accountable, and they're going to make damn sure that people are spending money to make sure the economy stays strong. Because when the economy goes into shitter, people ain't going to spend money. So their confidence goes down. They lose their job. They get tight. They get budgets. They're only going to spend what they need on essentials, not cars and luxury items and whatever. So the government, state government, is going to make sure the economy stays good by keeping jobs in the state, keeping jobs in the country, which goes back to the feds and both. So that is my answer to an income tax. A consumption tax on the federal level of 10% and a 5% consumption tax on the state level, Done. No property taxes, no taxes on top of taxes on top of taxes. That's it. You take 10% federal government, you take 5% state government. Leave me the fuck alone. That's it. As simple as that. But no, it's the tax code's all fucked up because of the deductions. And that is in my opinion, decided by the government to see what area they want to stimulate, like housing. If you buy a house, 90% in the beginning, 95% of your mortgage, just look at an amortization table. The interest is 99% on a 30-year fixed. That is a write-off. So if you're spending $1,000 on a mortgage, which is really good, and your tax rate's 20%, then you're saving $200 a month. And you can't get that in a rental property because you're pissing money down a hole and paying for someone else's mortgage when you rent. So, but they keep throwing this there and this and all this other crap, and it just makes it all confusing. Now, here's where I'm going to explain the business side of taxes as I understand it. This is not an education. This is my opinion. I'm not telling you what to do. It could be an education, but it's not advice. Put it that way. I'm going to put a disclaimer, a huge disclaimer out here on this. This is not tax advice. Okay? You get it? Yeah, hang on, Dwayne. Let me explain this and then you can come in. Hang on a minute. You just got me when I'm getting into and I'll keep it as short and sweet as possible. Okay? When you incorporate, let's say you decide to start a company, you have a couple options. When you incorporate and sign the articles of incorporation, being a business owner, okay? It can be just you, and there's 1,000 shares usually distributed, in my experience. What the value of them is usually $1 because the company ain't worth shit. Okay. I'm talking about private. This is not about public companies. That's a whole different animal. I want to get that out too. And I know I'm going to forget to say something or even misspeak. But when you decide to incorporate, you either decide to start a C corporation or an S corporation, or you really don't do anything. And instead of an EIN number, which is an employment identification number for taxes, you use your social security number, which is a sole proprietor. I'm not talking about sole proprietors. So just take that off too. All right. So you can become an LLC. Now, I don't know exactly what an LLC is, but from what I do understand it, it's similar to an S corporation. All right. Here we go. It's like, what? I'm just telling you. Okay. I'm trying to be as simple and not talking down to people because you don't know. This is the kind of stuff you're not taught in school. Unless, of course, you're going to go for an MBA or a business degree or something after high school. This stuff could be easily taught in high school and, in fact, junior high, in my opinion, because kids are not stupid. Whatever. So you incorporate, you either do C Corp or S Corp. Now, I did S Corp. I didn't do C Corp because I'm a real small company, and I was told by my CPA to not become a C Corp, to become an S Corp. All right. C Corp, the big difference is this. When you're a C Corp, the corporation pays corporate taxes, which is usually at 20%. So let's say you post $100,000 profit for the year. You're going to get taxed at the corporate rate of 20%. Okay. Which would be what? $2,000 or 20 grand? Post on, you're going to have to excuse my math. $100,000 profit, 20%. It's $20,000. You're going to own $20,000 on a corporate tax level. Okay. Corporate. See, but here's the thing. The corporation paid it, but you're the owner. So I'm splitting hairs here, but you own the business. You write the checks. So you're paying the taxes. It's just through the corporation. Okay. So right there, it's kind of like, well, you don't pay any taxes. Well, you know what? I own this company, and yeah, we just paid $20,000 in corporate taxes, although it didn't come out of my check in my checking account. I did, in essence, as an officer and owner of the company and shareholder, paid $20,000. Okay. Now we could debate that all day long. Okay. But just for, did I pay taxes? No. And yes or no? Did you, Mr. Parsons, pay those taxes? No, the corporation did. Okay. There you go. But I kind of did. Okay, whatever. But no, the answer is no. Okay. That's a C Corp. When you're an S Corp, totally different. Okay. So let's use the same example. Now I'm an S Corp. You post $100,000 profit in the company. Okay. Well, an S Corp, the profit of the company is channeled through the office or shareholders, owners of the company, officers of the company through their 1040 personal return. Okay. So the C Corp, $100,000 profit, the company pays the C Corp taxes at the corporate rate, 20%. S Corp, $100,000 profit, whatever your individual tax rate is what you pay. So let's say your corp or your individual rate is 30%. You have to write a check out of your personal account for the business taxes for the taxable income of profit of the company. Okay. That's an S Corp. Some people go, well, why would you do that? Well, I was told that if you're a C Corp, somehow, some way, you're double taxed. So even though you might pay a little bit more when it's channeled through your 1040, which it's your obligation to get your tax rate down legally by a house, IRA deductions, whatever, to get your it was my job to get my adjustable gross income down to the lowest point legally, which essentially lowers your tax rate. So you could, in essence, get your tax rate down to 20% legally. So you could pay $20,000 on a $100,000 profit of an S Corp, but you have to write the check out of your personal account because you're an S Corp and it's channeled through your personal return. Okay. Here's, in my opinion, you always hear, well, just buy it as business expense. It's a write-off. That's not necessarily true. That's not an accurate statement. It's accurate in saying that here's what it is. Your job, okay, listen to this very carefully. Legally, your job as a business owner in a private company is to make sure, and public for that matter, because you don't want a big tax bill at the end of the year, but let's just stick private. Your job is to get your profit as low as possible. Even if you have profit sharing and all that other shit, because you're going to get taxed on that, which is counterproductive. But your job is to legally get the profit of the company as low as you can. Okay. The way you do that is you have more expenses. So at the end of the year, every single business owner that's posting a profit, it's like, well, fuck, I don't want to pay taxes on $100,000 profit. What can I do? Well, you call your accountant, your CPA, and they'll tell you things like buy a vehicle, buy some computers, buy office furniture, buy all this shit. And all this stuff has different tax lines for tax deductions. Some has to be depreciated, but for the most part, just conversation's sake, let's just say you buy a bunch of shit that's $20,000. Well, that just lowered your $100,000 profit to your $80,000 profit. Okay. So when people say, well, just go buy a computer, it's tax deduction. That's not really true. You just increased your expenses to lower your profit. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. It's the best way I can explain it. So I can tell if people are a good business owner or even a business owner by saying, well, just go buy this. It's a tax deduction. No, it's not. It lowers your profit, which in essence, you pay less taxes. Okay. That's how I understand it. And from my experience, that's how it was. Okay. Now, if any of it made any sense or you can retain any of that or I explained it good enough, fine. Now, here's the thing. In real estate, okay, I know nothing I know nothing about real estate. Okay. I did start going to real estate investment classes. All right. Because I don't want to fix furnaces and air conditioners and refrigeration systems till the day I die, but it kind of looks like I'm going to. So I wanted to get into something different. I did pay for some real estate classes. And most, if not all, the real estate moguls, and I'm not going to name any of them, brag or make comments that they don't pay taxes, federal taxes, whatever. They don't pay taxes. The real estate industry is different, way different. There's so many advantages, and I don't say loopholes, because loopholes are, that's not really a good, there's legal ways that are allowed by the government for people in real estate to have all these costs and depreciation where they get their profit down to damn near, or if not zero. Okay. And there's a lot of instances where if you're in real estate, you get all these advantages. So you, as the owner of the real estate company or corporation, don't have to take a huge salary. I mean, if you buy a boat, well, we'll have the company buy the boat. Why should I buy the boat? Because if I have to buy the boat, then I have to take money from payroll to pay for the fucking boat. So let's just have the company buy the yacht. Okay. I'm not saying they do this, but I'm just trying to get it into your head that people that make millions and billions of dollars are smart. And it's like, well, you don't, Mr. Parsons, you don't need to buy this boat personally, because if you do, you're liable for it and you're going to have to take payroll. If I take payroll, I got to pay federal taxes and state income taxes and FICA and Medicare and Medicaid and all the shit that's on a payroll deduction on your pay stub. But if the company buys it, well, fuck it. Let the company buy it. Then that lowers my profit of my company because it's also an asset, and it depreciates. But the point of it is the company owns it and the company pays for it. So I don't need to take more money to pay for a fucking boat or an airplane or a car or even a house. You know, a corporation, from my understanding, can buy a house. They do it all the time. People that are salespeople and they travel a lot, and there'll be corporations that will buy condos instead of paying a hotel for these people to stay in. They will buy a company, townhome, house, whatever. So if the company buys the house, there again, I don't have to take money out to pay for my house. So if you really think about it, and I'm kind of in this position right now, I don't have a mortgage. I have real low rent, $200 a month. I got my car payment, but see, if I had a company, my company could buy that. I have a motorcycle. The motorcycle, which would be a gray area, could be owned by the company. Do you really need a company motorcycle? No, don't really need a boat either. But that's where you get into gray areas. But the point of it is this: if you needed to live just the essentials, how much money would you need to live? You wouldn't have to pay the electric bill, the gas bill, any of that shit. You would just have to pay probably consumables. So your insurance would be paid through the company. So you don't have any insurance premiums. So if you got to go to the doctor, whatever. So really the only thing you really, and this is even a gray area, if you eat out a lot, you could charge it to the company because you got a company credit card. You see, these people are smart. They're not doing it to evade taxes. They're doing it because it's legal. I also heard people that were very successful in real estate in front of me in these seminars say, I'm only taking, I don't know what the poverty level is, but whatever the poverty level is annually for a person to make money as a wage earner through payroll, because eventually you got to take money through payroll. And let's just say it's 20 grand. Let's say that's poverty level. So I ask you this: if you just had to buy food and essentials and shit at Walmart, hello?
I tried calling your calling number and it didn't work.
Yeah, because I don't have it open. So that's why I was asking you to wait.
I didn't see that.
Well, I said it. Anyway, I'm just about done anyway. So I'm going to ask you this. Not you, Dwayne. Hang on a minute. What's the minimum amount of money that you would need to survive? And I think it would be 20 grand. I could say that in a heartbeat. You give me $20,000 a year, I could survive. Just on food and Walmart shit and toothpaste and all that crap, maybe a gym membership, whatever. If you make under poverty level, you don't pay federal taxes. Simple as that. So I want to explain that because I don't care, like I said, if it was Obama, Clinton, I don't give a flying fuck. Trump, we only paid $750 in taxes. And then dingbat Anderson Cooper yesterday on CNN said, well, President Roosevelt back in the 1940s paid $11,000 in federal income tax. Well, yeah, because he was number one, he's being paid to be president. Number two, Trump is donating his fucking salary or not even taking it. So he's not being taxed on it. And FDR was taxed through payroll, and Trump, which I don't know what the president was paid back then, let's say 200,000. Trump ain't taking it. So whatever he's getting paid through his businesses, which is probably $20,000 in payroll, don't pay taxes. So it's not even a fair comparison because FDR wasn't into real estate. Trump is. You can check all this stuff out with Robert Kiyosaki and all these other real estate moguls because that's all they brag about is they don't pay or pay a very minimal amount of federal income tax. So I'm tired of hearing about it. Okay? I'm done. That's it. I hope you understood it. It's not political. It's lack of business sense and education in a lot of areas, in mostly taxes. And I only know what I know from 20 years of running a business that I started from nothing. Okay. So verify everything I'm telling you, do your own homework, but don't go around saying Amazon doesn't pay any taxes. Trump don't pay any taxes. Clinton doesn't pay any taxes. That's not true. That's not true. Okay. So that's it. I'm done. So what's up?
No, I was listening to you how you were talking about companies using like their credit cards, like their company credit cards. And when I was an EMT, each supervisor had a pay card, a credit card for the company. And that's what we would use to get meals and stuff throughout the day.
Right.
Well, let me say it like this. However long we'll be at the firehouse for, we would use it to buy food.
Yeah, because they'd buy your food because you're on duty, right?
Correct.
Yeah, right. That's an expense. So yeah, right.
And we weren't taxed when they filed taxes for it. They wrote it as a business write-off.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, it's to feed all of us. And now when I say feed all of us, I'm talking 30, 40 people on shift.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
So when I hear people go like, well, firehouses don't pay taxes because they got a credit card, doctor's offices don't pay taxes because they got a credit card. Mind you, they still do pay taxes, but it's called a business write-off.
Right. Yeah, which is totally legit. But then if people are listening to this go, well, that's not fair. So I'm going to start a business so I can write off my meals. It's like, no. It's the government.
And it's like, I get it. Well, let's say I'm not going outside because she's mowing our front yard.
Oh, yeah, wouldn't that be good?
But like, here's my thing is, to my side of everything is like, okay, Tim, you own a business. Every year at tax time, you write off business expenses, right? What you spend of your own personal money on your taxes. Me, a lot of the stuff I bought for the network. Mel has receipts. This year, I'll be writing them off as what I would call a business tax.
Well, and a job expense. That's a gray area because if you have your own business, yes. If you're an employee, then that's to do your job. So there's a little bit different there.
But it's like this, and I was listening to the debate the other night, and then I woke up the next morning and I see all this bunch of stupid shit
Yeah.
on my news feed, and then I see Scarlett's sister say some nasty things, going like, "Well, you're not even black." I'm going like, "How can you even sit there because of a debate?"
Yeah, I saw it. Charlotte shared that with me. I feel bad for her. But yeah,
Because for a presidential debate, I mean, here's my thing is I spent, let's see, you get $10 a call. You work 48, 72 hours. You probably get like 30, 40 calls within that 72-hour period.
All right.
Most of my money that I got from the firehouse was going back into the firehouse. Gloves, masks, food, because sometimes none of us would get our credit, a supervisor wouldn't exchange the credit, our credit cards for the day. And I was a volunteer supervisor. So when I would go on shift, I didn't have the card. I had to use my own personal money.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the year, I file my taxes every year. And here's the thing I want to tell people. If Trump only paid $750 in taxes, but he's donating what he gets as being president and from his business, why are you concerned about his federal taxes?
Well, that's what I don't understand. I don't understand why he's being an asshole not sharing it, because that's a gray area. I don't know if he's required to or if it's voluntary or what it is, but I mean, it is what it is. And instead of just being dismissive or stonewalling it, why don't you just answer the question and then explain why? Well, what's the big deal?
Right. Tim, can you hear her?
Barely.
Come up toward Mars. It's my mom.
Should never go show yet.
This charity is a nonprofit charity, which can be used for your taxes to not put you in a lower tax bracket. It's no different than if you go to Salvation Army or Goodwill and you donate stuff, they'll give you a slip for your taxes. And some people use spreadsheets, like if they donate something new or furniture or whatever, it puts you in it lowers your bracket. It puts you in a lower spot. But here's where they're getting him. His charity is non-profitable, but he used that charity money to pay for his campaign. His kids was using that charity money for certain things. That's why his kids have to take a class, a mandatory court-ordered class, to learn how to handle charitable organization money. And that's where they're going after Trump for, is because they're looking at all of his books for this one charity where money was supposed to go to kids or whatever charity that he had, to where actually they're saying that he used that money to pay for his campaign. Well, his campaign money, he would have to pay taxes on. If it came out of his charity money, he wouldn't have to pay taxes on it. So that's where they're getting him at. But it's not about the debate. People are so in the air about debate because of everything that Trump said. I didn't watch it, but everything Trump said, but the articles that I have read, Biden contradicted himself so many fucking times. Like just hearing bits and pieces where people were saying that he contradicted himself. But with Trump's taxes and everything, they're just saying that instead of, because you can't use your own money, like he's a multimillionaire, he cannot use 1 cent of his money for campaigning. So he got in, it's saying that either him or his kids got whatever charity they have, used the charity money, but made it look like that it was coming from his supporters.
So wait a minute. So Tim, if like what my mom was just saying, if he's dipping in the charity money for his campaign, technically that's illegal because that's a 501c3.
Yeah, it might be, and no offense to your mom or you or anybody. I don't want to get into what he's doing, what he's not doing. This was just a basic tax education on, I'm getting sick and tired of people saying that he didn't pay any taxes or very little, and for some reason he's doing something wrong. That's what I'm getting into. You're talking about legal stuff and all that, and I don't want to go down that road. That could be a whole different show. I don't know what he did or what he didn't do. So, and I get all arguing it.
You know what? And I have too, because here's the thing, like I've been arguing with people like the past couple months. You know, and like I've been arguing with BLM supporters about it nonstop. You know, like, oh, Trump's not paying his taxes. I'm like, well, are you?
Man, well, I don't define paying your taxes. I mean, is he, what do you, the statement should be he's not paying enough or he's paying a very low amount of tax. Just saying he's not paying his federal taxes, that's not the correct statement. That's tax evasion.
That owe the IRS, right? Independent after you make too much, you end up owing the IRS.
Right.
But they hadn't paid the IRS in 3 years. I mean, they made payment arrangements, but for the first year that they owed, they didn't start making payment arrangements until the second year they owed. The IRS didn't go after them because, like Natasha, I mean, she pays hers, but Natasha doesn't break even at the end of the year.
Right, and you know, like,
Because she makes too much, there's not all years that she breaks. But it could be no different than that. I mean, she doesn't owe out, millions upon millions of what Trump owes, but Trump has so many tax write-offs, it ain't even funny.
right, and you know, like Tim, like here's the funny thing is like, you know, when Masson found out I wasn't paying my tax, I didn't do my tax write-off. I hadn't filed my W-2s with our local, tax people down in the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
I got a letter in the mail stating that if I didn't go down and file my W-2s by this day, they were filing tax evasion charges on me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I didn't owe Maslin, I didn't owe anything, but I didn't file them. And I don't know the whole gray area with the bullshit, and like on the tax evasion thing, I really don't know much about that.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's paying too little or he's not paying enough, my question is, what is that our business?
It's not.
Like the joke I said on Thursday, what does Donald Trump's hair and a thong have in common? They both barely cover an asshole. Leave it at that.
Yep.
That's how I feel about it right now. Anyone who mentions Trump, I'm going like, I say that, they ask for the answer, I tell them, like, leave it at that. That's where I'm at. I'm done. I'm done with this year. I'm done with the election. I'm done with the debates. The debate was in my state, and they both made themselves look like a freaking fool.
Yeah, agreed. Yes. Yeah.
And like I watched it, and when when they're both sitting there acting like little immature kids and can't let someone speak for 2.5 godforsaken minutes,
Right.
and then Biden ends it going like, "Well, you're the worst president we've ever had." I'm going like, I can probably debate that one.
Yeah, and call him a liar and a clown and all the other insults. It was childish, very childish.
What? Like, and they let the state of Ohio down because Ohio is nice enough to let them have the debate here.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
For some reason, they depend on like 4 or 5 states. Because 4 or 5 states pretty much makes up who gets president. But some year, for some fucked up reason, they are so focused on Ohio that it ain't funny. This is the first year ever that I have gotten text messages out the ass from voting. This is the first year that I get 2 to 3 letters a week about voting. I already know where I need to vote at, which is right up there at the church. But I've gotten papers for what's that thing called?
the census.
No, not the census, but doing my votes by the mail.
Oh, the absentee ballot.
Yeah.
There's 2 different things. There's an absentee ballot, but then there's also a thing where I can vote Trump, Biden, or whoever through the mail and send it back in. And they're telling Ohio that we can vote start voting as early as October 5th. See,
I read that.
That for Ohio and Ohio only, we can start voting as early as October 5th. What the fuck is going on in Ohio
Sure.
with all of this shit? I have never gotten text messages like I've been getting. I've never been getting all this shit through this mail like I've been getting. And I damn
It's
sure,
real.
and I never ain't sure that Ohioans can start voting on October 5th.
Tim, when she's saying that stuff, I can prove it because my emails constant. Tim, and this is my question: and how the hell am I getting campaign emails from both parties? Why the hell am I getting text messages? I got my first letter in the mail like 2 weeks ago, and
I'm getting asked to work the polls.
yeah. Like, what? So, and Tim, I want to ask you this question because I don't know if you've ever went through this on election year where you're getting text messages, emails, letters, and everything about voting, but for some reason, both, and excuse my language and excuse the 2 words I'm about to combine, what do these 2 fucktards want with Ohio?
I don't know.
Leave us alone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Libertarian. I am considered what you call a non-party. And that's how I voted last year, my first time to vote. When I was asked if I was a Republican or a Democrat, I voted as a non-party. Because when I went and showed my ID for Trump's first election, they asked me, am I voting Democrat, Republican, non-party? I am a non-party. I don't believe in the right. I don't believe in the left. I don't believe in Democrats. I don't believe in Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the leftist media can go shove it somewhere.
Right.
You know, but it's like my state is under attack by both of these 2 idiots, and they made it worse in this debate. Because I didn't even know where it was at. And then Scarlett told me on the phone, going like, so how do you feel where 2 freaking president nominees are making your state look like dumbasses? I went like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sitting there laughing, going like, what do you mean my state? And she sent me the link going like, it was in Cincinnati. I went like, are you fucking kidding me?
It would have been the same damn thing. And what you're trying to say about not being Republican or Democrat, I have right down the middle because I vote for the person that I could stand behind all the changes they made, but I ain't standing behind the fucking person. Sure, I'll vote. There's always more voters on that paper, people on that paper than not president. I'll vote for the Democrat.
Joe Jorgensen, 2020.
Yeah, I'm going to look into her. I was talking to Scarlett about that. I keep Peter Schiff brought her up a few weeks ago on Joe Rogan's show, and then Scarlett brought it up when I was visiting her. So I'm going to look into her.
I have, and from what I've seen, it looks like she's gonna be she'll be a good candidate to run, to vote for.
Mhm.
It's just my thing is we haven't won a third party ballot since 1940, and that was Franklin Roosevelt.
There you go.
That was our last third party, winner. I'm going like, you guys really pushed my buttons today.
Uh-oh, we got Bonnie pissed off.
Bonnie, you can call me or PM me about it later, and we can hash this out. I love you anyways. Tim, you made a lot of valid points today, and that's why I was listening. Because when you said my reviews in the debate, I'm gonna go here's gonna go the taxes, here's gonna go the businesses, here's gonna go. And I've been watching since the beginning, and I'm going oh Lord, I'm like you pushed some of my buttons on some of the shit you said. I went damn.
Good, I'm doing my job. I'm making you think, right?
You know what? And that's all you do is make people think, and that's what people need to realize. And I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to say it lightly. We need to wake the fuck up and take our fucking country
Yes.
back.
Yeah.
Whether it's another revolutionary war, whether it's a fucking civil war, whether it's all these damn protests, we need to take our country back.
We should have Bonnie call in here. I got the number open. Call in here and tell us to push the buttons. I want to know what that means.
I gotta go grab my charger. I'm gonna go grab my laptop.
Yeah, because if I made both of you think, I did my job. I'm just trying to make you think. I don't give a flying fuck who you vote for, what tax deductions you do. I don't care about any of that. All I care about is you need to know how the game is played. And when people are playing the game and they're being called out on it for all kinds of names or not being a patriot or whatever stupid shit we're taught in school, it's wrong. You're being wrong to make them look bad. And I can't watch a man get destroyed on hearsay and lies.
Right, and that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying during the debate, because unfortunately I was watching the debate through TikTok because Yahoo News had it up,
Mm-hmm.
so I could watch it.
Yeah, Bonnie just called in.
Hi, Bonnie.
Yeah, you guys pushed my buttons today, but that was really welcome, because I'll tell you, all the debate on TV stuff it actually bored me. I turned it off, the Trump and Biden debate. And I like debating, but yeah, you guys got me really worked up listening to you, because so much of this is staged anyway. And I keep trying to, not get worked up out of it, but I'd be amazed if the election actually is ever counted or completed.
Yeah.
Do you know what, Bonnie? I've honestly asked the same thing, because ever since the Electoral College has been brought into the system, it seems like we as Americans keep getting fucked over and over again, and it seems like the U.S. government already has in mind towards the debate and who they have in presidency.
I challenge you on that, Dwayne, because the history of the Electoral College was because all of the rural areas in the middle part of the country never were totally represented, especially the properties that they own and the belongings and the amount of money they tax, because essentially your major metropolitan areas like New York, most of the East Coast, LA, San Francisco, were just through their numbers of population were voting and basically telling the whole rest of the country, the people spread out so they don't have the representation, how they were going to live, what laws they have, what they could do with their property. So why should somebody who lives in Wyoming have a New Yorker or a LA person tell them how to live, what to do with their property, how much taxes they're going to pay, what their property is worth. So,
Right.
anyway.
You know, but
Oh.
here's my thing. Here's my thing, though. You know, is and I say this. You know what? Oh, dang it! I don't. What the? Yay! Sorry, my phone froze. You know, and here's my big question that I've been asking. You know, is that everybody says, and let me challenge your mind on this, because I'm actually gonna challenge both of your guys' minds. I kind of know where Tim's is at on it, but everyone's tired, is saying that they're tired of the bullshit that the government and everything is doing. But what are we doing as Americans? This is where I really want to challenge both of you, because I've been looking at it, from going all the way back into history and the Revolutionary War side of it. What are we doing as Americans to change, the way shit's getting done, or the way that, the government is handling things? Because in the matter of the fact, until, like I said, a little bit ago before you called in, when we finally stand the fuck up and take back our country, that we rightfully fought for, in the beginning with our founding fathers. And I believe me and Tim had this conversation a while back ago when the whole BLM thing started, and when Tim originally came back, we kind of had this conversation. Here's my thing. Everyone says they're done with the way things is being ran, but we're sitting here, and I'm not saying all of us, but I'd say a good majority of it is just sitting in the fucking house crying, woohooing, going like, oh, we can't do nothing. But, and originally we can. We've seen our founding fathers do it. We've seen the people that fought do it in two different wars, mind you, the Revolutionary War and the Civil War. So if we want things to be done and we want things to be changed, why are we not doing nothing about it? Tim, am I making any sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Bonnie.
I question one thing though, and I have relatives. I've got records of relatives going clear back to the Revolutionary War. In fact, one of my dad's multiple ancestors back was actually the person that cared for George Washington's horses out in battle. So I've always been fascinated by it, and I taught American U.S. history to at-risk youth for 6.5 years in an alternative program. So I really dug deep in it. And the fact is, we're not a democracy. We are a republic, which means the people we vote for are our representatives. And what we can do is, when the people we elect do not represent us and stop doing our work, we unelect them. And that's the power of having a democratic republic. And unfortunately, our education system, the public one, has done a crummy, crappy job of teaching what that is. And so we've got all of these politicians, particularly the left now keeps using the word, we're a democracy, we're a democracy, we're a democracy. They're literally, through repetition, changing or trying to change history. And, the more conservative people are not saying we're a republic, we're a republic, we're a republic. It's a matter of education. So that's why in getting back to why we don't go popular vote is because we are a democratic republic. And so what happened was there was such a huge amount of representation. I mean, Chicago, New York, LA, San Francisco, all of your population centers, your metropolises, your mega metropolises, that 80% of the land in the United States, it didn't matter who lived there. So we are not a democracy. We don't go by popular vote. And that is to ensure that people are represented. And Sherman's starting to bark and chase the cat.
Right. So let me ask this question then. People, we're a republic, okay, and we're voting in Tim. Yeah, I know how you feel about language sometimes, but I'm just gonna call call these people what they are, these fucking assholes that we elect in office. But yet again, we have, like I was explaining to Tim and them on my show, these Trump supporters that are just downright dirty human beings for some of the stuff they said. I said it on my show the other night when Tim was on there, and Tim's just kind of going like you got called what? And then you got these Biden supporters, and then then they're attacking, both presidents, both VPs,
Yeah.
even more Kamala Harris.
So it's people that don't understand what those people in those parties actually represent and what they should be doing. And that's when people start name calling and labeling people, when in fact they should start challenging by the facts. Maybe you do want to be more of a democracy and want the higher population centers to run the whole thing out of convenience, but then you won't need elections. You won't need national elections.
Right.
And congressmen are 2 years in office, and it's Congress that's really messing stuff up and that is not getting any work done. So it's for Pete's sake, quit voting for somebody just because they have, a D or an R or an I after their name. It's the fruits that they show.
Right.
Proof of what they've done. And people aren't unelecting these people.
Right. And and I'll bring up a good instance, when so like where Tim is, a good part of his his state is 100% open. There's still some cities and towns, that are not. And Tim, I'm not going to say where you live, just for the fact I don't know if you told people or not. So I'm going to keep that,
Right.
There. But like when Ohio was going through things, and I hate calling this woman this because I normally don't call women this, but this bitch of a director of public health, Amy Acton, who I found out later was Obama's campaign advisor, was overstepping her boundaries, as public health director. And the lockdown went for 3 God blessed months. And the Supreme Court had to step in and go like, hey, now wait a minute. It's bad enough when we got Supreme Courts all over, different states stepping in, to try to fight for the Constitution of what me and Scarlett say of we the people, because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to is, we the fucking people.
Yeah.
I'm a constitutionalist, to the day I die. But here's the thing is like, it seems like this year, everybody has lost their godforsaken fucking mind.
Well, they have, and there's way too many courts for one thing, and the circuit courts of appeal. But ultimately, if you look back at what the U.S. Supreme Court has done, they keep kicking things back to the state courts because the 10th Amendment is your state's rights, and there's certain areas that are states' rights, like how you're going to educate your kids, state public funding stuff, insurance, health insurance if they're going to have them, and that kind of stuff. But there's other things that are U.S. Supreme Court stuff, and the Circuit Court of Appeals, they're different. Like the Ninth down in the southwestern part of the United States is extremely far left. They started reaching in these courts of appeals and telling what other states or areas what they would have to do. And that was a big error. And actually the U.S. Supreme Court said, hey, you got to knock that off. It's not working. What I think what needs to happen is we just don't need all these layers of courts.
Right, like we have the Supreme Court, we have the state court, then we have the House of Representatives, which that's another fucking topic for another day. I'll go into that probably sometime this week on my show. But here's the thing, though, is like when you got the Supreme Court stepping in, and I think Tim actually said this too, when the whole riots were going on, in Minneapolis, when the National Guard has to step in and the Supreme Court has to come in and say enough is enough. you know, shouldn't that be the sign for we the people to stand up and actually fight if Supreme Courts are stepping in? Like, is it just me thinking that, or are you guys kind of really there where I'm at?
Well, it depends. You've got state Supreme Courts and you've got the U.S. Supreme Court. Now, different states gave different rulings on the rioting and whether or not the National Guard should step in. Like the Oregon State Supreme Court is also very left. So what they indicated was different than what you would do with the state National Guards.
Wait, I should have
the same thing.
broadened. Hold on. Yeah, give me a minute. I should have broadened what I should have said when the U.S. Supreme Court and the state Supreme Courts are stepping in. Not okay. Let me back away from the riots because I don't even want to go there. But backing in, like coming in to intervene on governors because of certain restrictions they placed during COVID. Like I know, like I said here in Ohio, our Supreme Court stepped in and basically told Amy Acton to sit her bitch ass down. But my mom wants to say something.
When the National Guard and the Supreme Courts and stuff stepping in, they don't need to look at the people. They need to look at why they are stepping in and why the people have lost respect for their city and who runs it. And why the people don't respect them. Why are they stepping in the first place? What's making these people protest? What's making these people riot? It's not just something that people get up and say, oh, one day I'm just going to go burn down my city because I live in the city of Massillon. I love the city of Massillon. I don't want to live anywhere else. So it's not like, people are like that, whatever city they live in. So when other governors, the House, whoever fucking comes in, and the National Guard has to come in to get things under control, the government itself needs to look at what is going on for the people that have lived in this city their whole entire lives for 60, 70 some years. What's going on that they no longer have respect?
Yeah.
I can answer that. Lack of leadership and people get.
Tim's going to say something.
What?
Go ahead, Tim.
I said the reason why people are acting like that is because lack of leadership and they're tired of getting fucked. That's why.
Lack of leadership and they're tired of getting fucked.
Yeah, no, I know why they
And we've
stepped
got
in. I know
judges.
why people stepped in, but I'm saying the government needs to look at it that way too, that the reason why they're getting called in is because of all the stuff that the cops are doing or the government's doing, is that people lost all respect. So they don't need to be blaming people what's going on. They need to take a closer look and digest what's the governor of the city doing? What are the cops doing? Why did people lose respect for a city and a state that they once loved?
Yeah. If you look back in the 80s, I think what also when people started losing respect, or maybe better term is even not trusting the government, is when the three branches started getting muddied together.
Yes, I was going to say that. You're exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're three individual and they were created to be totally different.
Balance of power.
And what happened?
Yep.
Yeah, because our judicial branch, all of these little courts that started getting added in and these different layers, judges who frankly were not well versed in constitutional law started adjudicating literally statutes and creating laws saying, you know what, I didn't like the way this went, so this state, you will do this way, even though, the people voted a particular way. So they're actually activist judges who are playing legislatures. And that's when people really started getting mad. You start going back into the 80s and the early 90s, a little bit here, a little bit there. People would be shocked when they listen to the news. Suddenly, then hear this California judge suddenly said that, you know, your Second Amendment rights don't apply here. You know,
Yes, they do. They always do. That's the problem.
You know, and like, here's the thing: we need to go back where it was just the House of Representatives, the judicial branch, and what was the other one? Someone help me with the third one. House of Representatives, the judicial system, and
You've got your judicial, your legislative, and your executive.
Correct.
thank you. We just need to go back to where it was just them three and not these smaller fudging courts. Because here's the thing, and I agree with Bonnie on this, when these smaller courts started coming in and making legislatives in all these different states, no wonder people are pissed. And I mean, I can understand why people lost their mind in 2020. I mean, we were all stuck in our fucking house for 3 months.
You also have the legislative getting into the judicial. And an example of that was Pelosi, and I don't want to call anybody out, but all of them getting involved with what, saying the president broke the law, or he can't do this, or he can't do that. That's none of their goddamn business. That's the justice system to deal with, not lawmakers.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, and like, not Pelosi under the bus, but Tim, since you mentioned her.
Wait. This is the Biden-Trump debate. Don't talk on each other. So it's irritating as shit to me. I'm sorry. Let just one of you talk. Go ahead.
No, you know, and not to throw Pelosi's ignorant ass up under the bus, you know, but when she ripped up whatever document that was behind Trump when it was handed to her, I'm sorry, does your fucking ass even belong in this fucking place? Like, because me and Scarlett came down to a fucking T, and it was amazing. The only reason that she was trying to impeach him, because if Pence went in to presidency, she was the next person up for VP.
No kid, no shit. Right. It's all about power.
You know, and it's like this, and it irritates the living soul out of me, because, you know, I've done so much research and like Bonnie, I'm a history buff. With all the history I know, I could probably be a godforsaken history teacher, not saying I can deal with kids, because I can't even deal with my 19-month-old, but that's another fucking story.
Yeah, right. They're challenging.
That's funny.
You know, it's like we had to fight twice for this country, you know, as a whole. You know, like Bonnie said, the Revolutionary War, and then the fucking, in 18-something, I think it was 1860, the whole state got split in half between the racist bastards in the North.
Well, it wasn't all that. It was also the North being assholes to the South. With
yeah, I was going there.
Okay, go ahead. I want to clarify that.
You know, and like Tim said, the North being, you know, assholes going like, oh,
asshole.
If you come over here, we'll feed you, we'll get you pregnant. You just can't marry the husband.
It was also the taxation issue,
right?
On
textiles.
Yeah.
You know, so like, and then we
started it.
And then we had that issue going like, and now we're divided again over two nominees. What the fuck is wrong with people? I swear to God, history repeats itself.
It does. And I want to say this, the rebel flag, people better be careful, because the optics for that is equated to slavery. The rebel flag is just that, being a rebel, telling the northern government or states to go fuck themselves, because they were taxing the shit out of the textile industry in the South. The South produced it. The only way they could get it out of the country was through the North. So the North's like, well, you're going to do that, we're going to tax the shit out of you. And the South said, go fuck yourself.
Right.
So it wasn't all about slavery. It wasn't. It was part of it.
Yes.
It was part of it.
Really treating the South like another country.
Yeah, they were treating them like stuff.
Yeah, true. You know, and Tim told me that, you know, when we had the whole conversation, you know, I think it was your first episode back. You know, we had that conversation. You know, like my mom just came in the living room and said, you know, this world's been divided, you know, since Trump first ran for office, when Obama was coming out. You know, and then you have Trump coming out, and I hate to bring this up again, him coming out and saying if he loses, he's not going to transition power peacefully. How does that help your case as a president?
I don't know. I don't even want to think about that because regardless, there's going to be some type of, I don't want to say revolution, but no matter who gets elected, it's not going to turn out well. It's just not.
Whoever gets elected, we're all fucked.
Right. Right. What, Bonnie?
Civil. There's going to be so much civil unrest no
Right.
matter because
That's the, yes.
people have become black and white. It's become almost a dichotomy, right or wrong.
Right.
When you have that,
Exactly.
people get angry. See, we're talking, we have different opinions, and we're willing to listen, and yet we'll still end up respecting each other. But as a, you know, it almost pays for politicians to keep things divided. They use it as a tool, and it's, you know, all about financial. It's all about money and power.
Correct.
And
Correct.
it's complex. It's complex, but if people need to start going back, take a breath and say, okay, what is it that I want? And what did what is the Constitution? Because you know what? Most Americans love the Constitution and want to protect it, believe it or not.
I hope
they
so.
just don't understand how it works.
Right.
And
Exactly.
they've been misled, they've been misdirected, crappy education system. Sorry for swearing.
She's a teacher, by the
Yeah.
way. She's a teacher. You have a teacher saying that, right, Bonnie?
Well, I did teach. I was a learning center specialist for at-risk
See?
youth, and I
There you
taught it.
Yeah.
You know, so because the kids would pay attention to me because I'd make a fool out of myself, but we did role playing, and I made it alive
Right.
rather than read the pages and regurgitate this information so you pass. You
Right.
know, you start using real life examples. They don't do that anymore.
Right, Bonnie. And, and like the thing is, as these schools, and I will say this, because I was in public schooling, and I'll say this, it sucked.
Yeah,
I
me
wasted
too.
basically 12 years of my life, but the things that our founding fathers wrote, the Declaration of Independence, and then years later, the Constitution came out. The public education has dissected it and made it to what they want it to be. Because when I was in American government, I didn't pay attention because I knew because you can ask my mom during the summer, if I wasn't doing something stupid, my ass was in a book or doing research online, learning more.
Good.
And I had controversial debates on Facebook about it because I was posting facts because I was doing research, digging into old history books, like early 1900s history books, early 1800s books, learning, digging. Gosh darn it, I read Paul Revere's book like 10 times just to get facts straight into a presentation 3 weeks into school.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
make
Don't
my
you-
mom said it was 2 weeks, but
what
it was 2
people-
weeks in school.
Don't you think, Dwayne, that this isn't what Americans should be doing now?
Yes.
Got to deliver a person, that's Sherman.
Get him, Sherman. Get him.
What if he could? I've got to
You know-
person.
Okay.
So,
All right.
We just need to get back, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to anyways. We honestly need to look back to where we came from.
Mm-hmm.
What did we originate off of? Wasn't it freedom, peace, unity, and love?
In the pursuit of happiness. Yeah.
In the
all that.
pursuit of happiness, and now it's hate, greed, money.
Yep. Resentment, blame. Yep.
Gosh, man, and I'm going to bring this up for an instance, and Tim's going to laugh. Half the men out here anymore aren't truly fucking men because they just want women for their fucking bodies.
What's wrong with that? I'm kidding.
You know, it's like, you know, and I'm thankful that I've had my mother in my life ever since my dad died, because my mother has taught me when you are with somebody, and this was instilled in kids early back, go like back to 1800s, 1700s, kids were taught how to treat women with respect.
Yeah, it's family structure, which is destroyed.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the politicians want you for your body, Dwayne. So
They ain't getting it.
They want you for your vote. And I'm going to ask you to this. So, and this goes to your mom. Your mom made me think about this, and I've been thinking about it for a long time.
I'm
Dwayne.
going to my mom. Hold on.
Well, she don't have, I just want an answer. There's two answers to this question. And we can discuss it after you guys answer this. So I'm going to push your buttons more. But on the premise of people don't trust anybody, they lost their shit, the BLM movement, revolutions in the past, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to ask you guys this question.
Okay.
In respect or regards to there's three parts here. So there's two answers to each of this question, and two answers are the same. All right. Or the two options are the same. It's multiple guess. Okay.
Okay.
So with African Americans being oppressed and everything happened to them in the current situation that they're in today,
Okay.
the question is, whose fault is it? And the two questions are, or the two answers are, is it them or is it the government?
I can answer that one quickly.
Go
It's
ahead.
the government.
Okay. All right. That's all I want to hear. All right. Bonnie, what do you say?
I'm in.
What'd she say?
He just wants one of the two answers, and then we'll talk about it after we answer.
Yeah, I'm not discussing it. I want an answer.
I believe that government,
Okay, good. All right.
but
That's
that's
enough.
our fault.
Is that Bonnie? Is that Bonnie talking or your mom?
Yeah.
That's Bonnie. My mom's getting her to answer now.
Okay, go ahead.
That it goes hand in hand.
It's not, that's option C. There is no option C or all the above. It's the government or them.
It's the government or the people,
Yes.
both.
Oh, okay. That's option C. All right. The Native American Indians, the way they've been treated, their shit was taken away. They were out of pillage. I don't even want to get into it. Thrown on reservations. Is that the Indians' fault or is it the government's fault?
Government.
Bonnie?
Government.
Okay. In your mind, option C?
My mom said government.
Multiple. Okay, the option. The answer is C. Okay. Now with the illegal immigrants coming in the country, being lured in here, and they come in here and they're productive and they have families and then they got kids that are citizens and blah 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 blah. Is that their fault for coming in here illegally, or is that the government's fault?
Their fault.
Really? Okay. Bonnie?
Actually, no, wait. Hold on. I take that answer back. I would go it's the government's fault.
Okay. Bonnie.
I'll say government because that's politicians. So
What does mom say?
I'm going to say
What you
because the government should have been better. If they didn't want illegal immigrants over here, they should have been better at making sure
What
that they make their way over here, because they didn't make their way over here, then they came. It's no different than finding a loophole and anything else in this world. If America didn't, the government didn't want illegals in the United States, then they should have did a better job at protecting all borders. I'm not just talking about here in Mexico, and that they should have been protecting all damn borders to make sure that it didn't happen.
My mom's going both again.
A both. Okay.
She's like Scarlet, Tim.
No, that's fine. Whatever. I just wanted to make the point and accountability of who's to blame for all the shit going on right now. And my answer is the government. It's not the Native Americans' fault. It's not the black people's fault. And it's not the illegal immigrants' fault. It's the fucking government. And that's why people are losing their shit. But they're blaming others for the situation that they're in.
Yeah, because the government can point their finger at each other or blame themselves for it because that would make them look incompetent.
And Tim, I agree with you there because if you guys refer to Tim's first and second show that was back to back nights, we talked about this. If the government would actually do, excuse my language, their fucking job, and get their head out their asses and do what they're supposed to instead of looking over a blind shoulder, we wouldn't have these problems. Minnesota would have never got burnt down. Martin Luther King Jr. would have never had to march for the rights of equality for black people.
For everybody. But yeah, black people. Right.
But you know what? When this government started,
No, you're not on camera.
Americans can be blamed for a lot of things too, because when the government started going wrong, I didn't see, why are we just now standing up? Why didn't people start standing up years ago when it started going to hell in a hay basket? Why did it take this long, this many murders, this many things going on for people to snap and say, I had enough? Because it's not like things have been equal or silence. Everyone wants to sit and say, well, it was 2020. This happened in 2020. Well, what about all the other deaths, all the other murders by cops or whoever else? And it's white, black, Latinos, any ethnic that you can think of. So, the government's gets away with a lot because they're a government and they don't tell us everything, and they're never going to. But what we did know, why are we just now standing up?
Because Americans have had it good and they become apathetic until something affects them. Then they scream out loud. And the fact, is that people would rather have someone choose their candidates for them. That's why they often, belong to a party or vote from what the union tells them, because they've given up their representation in essence. It's lazy. It's people not wanting to think. It's letting someone else take care of it until it goes backwards, and then they start bitching and complaining. And people need to start taking on the responsibility of voting and firing representatives that aren't doing what they were elected for, and us as individuals, because we are government.
You know what?
I'm not saying help it anymore. People need to start coming up with other things. And Dwayne laughed at me when I used this reference, and so did a few other people, but I'm not going to mention their names. When I used a scene from the Shawshank Redemption, when Andy wanted to build a library, he wrote letters once a week and then twice a week and did whatever it took to make change. Well, maybe that's what we all need to do, is start writing letters, copying them, send the same letter a million times to your state, to your city, to the government. Protesting ain't getting anywhere.
And here's the thing, and when my mom brought that up is part of the reason I quit. And another thing is, it's, and like Tim said on Saturday, the whole protesting thing has just turned into a black and white war, and it's getting nowhere.
No, it's not. It's dividing us even more. Well, I have to answer MG Toe's question or response here in the chat room. Yeah. And thanks for the chat room and the comments. But he, she wants to know, I don't know the gender. If it's the government's fault, please explain. In my examples of American Native Indians, black people, and now illegal immigrants. And if I say Mexicans, I'm sorry. I got dear friends that are fucking, doesn't matter. Illegal immigration. Okay. Why in all three instances is that the government's fault? And with your guys' interjections, why would the American government at all different times in these instances throughout the ages take Native American Indians and oppress them and shove them on a reservation. Okay. Then why would they do that to black people, pay them money and throw them into projects? Then why would they lure people to come in here, but make it fucking impossible with the current laws and immigration system, but still welcome them with open arms and pay for their shit? Why would the government do that? And why would somebody not take them up on that offer, to be fair and reasonable about it?
You know, and
There she goes. There you go. She got it right off the bat. That's why it's the government's fault. It's power. And if I'm going to do this for you, because I care about you, Pocahontas, and I'm not talking about Elizabeth Warren, and black people that need to be with their own people, and we'll pay for your shit and pop out more kids, but don't marry the daddy and have a different daddy and pop out more kids. And then the kids are raised in a shithole with no future. So then they sell drugs and get into gangs and they fucking kill each other. Okay. All for votes. Then you let people that want to come in here and make a better life for them and their family from Mexico. Let's just fucking call it the way it is. Come on in here. We'll protect you as long as you vote for us. They don't give a flying fuck about Indians. They don't give a flying fuck about black people. And they don't care about fucking Mexicans. All they care about is the illusion that I'm here for you and I'm your government and your elected servant. And I will take care of you as long as you vote for me. That's it.
you know what?
It's the government's fault. So I hope I explained that.
Place. But
Yeah.
stay in your place.
Right, but
I'll
stay
give you
in
the
your
money.
place. Yeah, go ahead,
I'll
Bonnie. Right, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll give you the money.
Come on, Bonnie, stop.
Stay in your place. Just accept me, because you're going to be punished somehow if you have a difference of opinion.
Mhm. Right.
But I'll just keep sending those bucks to your community.
As
you
long
know,
as,
yeah, just,
Mhm.
yeah, just keep telling your local representatives you want this or want
Yeah.
that.
Right.
And so you better match these federal funds, and you'll get that project 50% funded by the federal government as long as you toe the line. And we have become so lazy.
Right.
We don't. Yeah, and people are afraid of the unknown. Oh my gosh! Well, if I don't for this party, if I don't get their money that they keep promising that they don't actually spend because they use it for something else, what will happen? Will it be worse?
And
And
You know, and my mom,
here,
my
Yeah.
mom wants to say something.
Oh, wait. Let me say this and I'll shut up and you guys can take the show for all I care. But here's the thing. The government used the American Indians to get what they want was their land and power. Okay. They did it with the black people and how they're doing in getting votes in the projects and promising link cards and kids and popping out kids as long as they voted for them. So according to Candace Owens, okay, is a very smart black woman, the birth rate is going down for African Americans. So if you don't think the government is looking at that, you're a fucking moron. So what's happening is that the government is turning their back on the black people because there's no use for them anymore. So now they're going after the fastest growing race or ethnic
Latino.
background, which is the fucking Hispanics. So now they're promising that shit that they said they'd give the blacks, which they did. But that's why, in my opinion, that the government don't give a flying fuck. They never did, but they really don't care about black people now. And that's why they're treating them the way they do, which is no exception to the rule because they've been treated horribly since they've been here. And they're just turning their back and giving up on them.
Right, Mom, what do you want to say?
I wanted to say that the illegal immigrants that are here, I believe that they leave here and don't do a whole lot about it is because one, they work for cheap. They don't complain about their pay, and they will work for way under dollars than what any other American would. And what the immigrants that they are bringing over, which started a few years ago, is offering them a house, their license, a job, making it secure, And then with the black population, and I hate saying it that way, you know, the drugs that they're killing each other with are the ones that the government are supporting, just like their guns.
Right. You know, and I want to address what MG Toe said. I don't know where it went because Tim just
Put it up there.
flipped it on me. That's okay. It isn't the whole government. It's a fraction of the government. Okay. Let me ask you. Let me challenge your mind to think here for a minute, MGTOW. If it can't just be a fraction of the fucking government, it has to be the whole government as a whole, because even Trump, I'm going to bring this Oompa Loompa into it. He has even said that we need better border protection because our borders are shit. And mind you, 90% of our borders is what is fucking used for human sex trafficking. Don't get me started there because I can go on a fucking rant about that.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, but when Trump comes out and says we need a better border protection, he's blaming the whole freaking government, not a fucking fraction, the whole damn thing.
Right.
Oh, it's the whole damn thing. It's not just a part of the thing. It's not just a part of the problem. You can't look at the government as a fraction. You got to look at it as a fucking whole.
Well, you know, Dwayne, though, you know, and look at it, because, and a lot of people have said, you know, let's fix the border. You know, in the long run, it's going to save a lot of money. But you know that Congress, when it came to getting the funds from a particular fund from Congress, 50% of the Congress said no way, no how. And it was the whole, basically the majority in Congress, which was the Democrats, that said no because they didn't want the money. Well, Trump knew that there was, you know, funds. You know, the guy researches, he studies, and he saw that there were other funds from the government to maintain the integrity of the government and the safety of the country through other funding. And that's how he's paying for the wall. The fact is, nothing has gotten done over the years because it's been comfy cozy for our politicians, because it's always been so close to 50-50, you know, of either party, except for occasionally. And so that's why nothing has ever gotten done about the border. People have been screaming about the border since I was born, and that's a long time ago.
Yeah, that
So,
goes back to cavemen, doesn't it? I'm sorry.
You know, and it's like this one, you know, is like what MGTOW just said. I don't know if Tim wanted to address it because he's the one who put it up, but MGTOW's bringing out some good questions. You know, this is why I don't understand the most. How can the Democrats give the illegals everything and the blacks nothing? And they still want to vote for them. Because watch this. So I'm going to bring up the whole black situation. After the Civil War, you know, the main part of slavery was done. You know, let's talk about the Emancipation Proclamation here for a quick minute. You know, that guaranteed blacks everything. Now that you got the, you know, the Mexicans, or what I say is, if you can't speak fucking English, get the fuck out of the country. That's just my opinion.
Eventually.
That's just, you know, my opinion. I'm not racist. You know, if you're here illegally, I don't care. If you're here illegally, get the fuck out. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion.
It's rule of law, actually.
But when you have these people coming in that are busting their ass off and fetching into this lie, and the blacks are figuring out, going like, oh, we've been lied to for so many years, and they're going like, we're finally done. They have to pick another fucking ethnic group to pick.
That's stupid. Well, not stupid. They're trusting because, oh my God, it's a new government. It's we the people. It's the Constitution and a republic, like Bonnie says. So, you know, I can actually do something with my life. But what they don't understand is they're being used and being oppressed at the same time. And then just like a throwaway disposable battery, when they run out, they go after the next group of people. They've done it with the Indians. They've done it with the blacks. And now they're doing it with the Hispanics. And all of them are too fucking stupid to see it. I'm sorry. I'm not stupid. Trusting. I correct myself. Trusting.
Well, Tim, I would say stupid and trusting at this point.
Well, yeah, but it's arrogance. It's what it is. It's just, or ignorance.
Yeah.
It's ignorance. That's what it is.
People don't want to work to educate themselves.
No.
So they're bitching and griping, and the fact is, the people in power want a schism because then it's always going to be status quo. This half
Yep.
Against it, this half will vote for it. And as long as we keep voting those people that think that way in, who've been there for half a century, for Pete's sake, yet people don't vote them out because they're afraid, yeah, but so-and-so's, been there for 40 years, and I'm afraid if I don't vote for him again, that my community is going to lose power. So it's lazy, it's uninformed, it's lack of understanding what it means to be a representative government, and that a politician is supposed to represent the majority of people in the area that they're responsible for, instead of representing a lobby or a political party or any of that. And until people start looking at the fruit, the products, what someone has done, also that if they say they're going to do this when they're running, and how are they going to do it? What is their plan? Before I want to know the plan and how you're going to achieve this before I vote for you.
Yeah, instead of
Nobody.
Yeah, great. Go ahead. I'm
Nobody
sorry.
asked.
Yeah, go. I'm sorry. Go. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
You know,
I want to know their plan. I want to know what they're going to do. I want to know how they're going to do it. Nobody asks those questions.
right. And that's why I'm not voting. This is why neither party will have my vote this year, because everything that has been said so far, and with, and
Yes.
and like Tim has said, and MGTOW, I do agree. When you depend on the government for your existence, you're fucked. And this is coming from a man that has been on SSI since I was young, and now I'm 22, and I'm struggling to get the hell off of it because it's a guaranteed income, that I get every month on the first. I mean, does it help with bills and everything? Yes, it does. But I like, but here's my thing, with also what MGTOW said, it's wash, rinse, repeat. And I hate to say this, the white population has been the only fucking ethnic group that has not fallen for this fucking trap that the government has put every other fucking group in.
Amen. That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That spun as white privilege, though. And Scarlett and I had a discussion about this, and I thought it was pretty good. There is in some instances white privilege, but what you're saying, Dwayne, it's like, well, you get all this stuff, forget it because you're white. It's like, no, because we're not that they're stupid, because they're trusting, and the government has done things for them. Where if you have 3 generations in this country and you're white and you busted your fucking ass, you're last in line. You don't get shit because the government knows they can't fool you.
Right. And that's like when I finally figured out I'm allowed to work while I'm on SSI, I took the opportunity and got a job. We all know how that went.
Mm-hmm.
I've had multiple jobs. I've been on SSI, and I've fallen because it's, because I come back, going like, oh, I have a fixed income.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay. But now when I have a job that is working me so many different shifts, actually wanting to hire me in because I'm seasonal, I'm taking that opportunity.
Dwayne, is it still on SSI that you can only make so much during a month or a certain work period?
I think with COVID, they're really not saying nothing right now.
Okay.
You could have let them.
Well, the thing is, SSI is insurance to give you the time to be able to have enough income to find a trade that works for you, especially if you're disabled, and to either so you can train to work full-time or even work part-time and get a supplement because you're being productive. And that's what it's for. It's Social Security, SSI, Social Security disability income, SDI, all of those. And I worked with that with many clients for years, and clients eventually did find a job or career. And they maybe didn't get rich off of it. They were maybe low income, but then they learned how to use the tax system. You know, they didn't pay property taxes because they were so many percentage below poverty level, and that kind of thing. Social Security was just that. It was originally created to be like an insurance. Then we turned it into a retirement plan, and people got used to it, and they got used to the money, and the politicians saw that, and the politicians said, "Aha." Rather than having them start, paying into their own retirement plans and, making it safe and all that, they'll vote for me. More money, Anyway, I digress.
That's all right.
Right. And it's like this. Sorry, I got my little guy on me.
I see him. It's cute.
And it's like this, before I get off here, because I got to change a shit full diaper, I can tell. Before Tim ends this, I want to say, we got to stop falling for the traps of the government, and actually start living our own lives, and like, I'm going to go back, lay down. Like, I'm going to take, into consideration, like, as a father, and I'm going to bring the aspect of being a father into this. Today I'm trying to do what's right. Lay down. Today I'm trying to do what's right, by him.
Yeah.
And that's not falling for the traps of the government, because I have a little man, a 19-month-old, that depends on a father, that depends on a dad.
Yes.
And go to grandma. I have a son who does depend on me. Go to grandma. Go eat. That depends on me. Go eat. Go on. Step over it. Come on. On foot. Go grandma. That depends on me, and it's at this point, I've had him on here before. I don't care. I have him. That loves, that depends on a father, and that's what I'm trying to be at this day. As a dad, he's just waking up.
Yeah. And you know what? It's because it's in your heart and your mind, and you sincerely want to be a good dad. It's totally apparent. And your son is going to turn out to be an amazing person because you're focused on that. You're focused on being a good dad, and you're focused on being a good citizen. You're focused on that representatives represent you properly and represent your child who's going to be growing up in this world. And Dwayne, I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to be the best dad in the whole world.
One of them.
And him.
No, I wasn't looking for that. I'm just saying. Everybody's got to be a great parent, the best of their ability.
Right, and like this, is like, my son needs to be able to depend on a father, that can support him and show him, that things are gonna be okay, even in the toughest time. And this is the one great thing, and I'm gonna hate to say it, it's kind of like Tim was saying, that white privilege thing, is that we get it.
Right.
And we're not trusting. I mean, God, it took me to trust Tim, even coming on his show, when I was first getting ready to come on here, and now look at us. I mean, that's literally what the government has done to people. If they can't trust nobody, we can't trust nobody, we're shit. Because we don't know if we're going to get stabbed in the back. We don't know if we're going to, get told like, "Hey, I got you," and then get left on the side of the freaking road. No, we're out here busting our ass for what we have every darn day, while others are just getting it handed to them. You know, and that's the one thing that pisses me off, especially as someone that's considered middle class. You know, as you're out here getting, free housing, guaranteed,
A link card, fucking whatever. Yeah.
right? And it's like, but I'm out here busting my ass on SSI, being on SSI, and trying to get hired in full time at Lowe's at this point, and I put both of my son's legs in one pant leg. That's stupid. And I'm doing what I can beside my son. Not just beside my son, but beside my mother too. So it's like this. You can tell me that, oh, I'm gonna give you the greatest house, greatest car. The government can approach me with that, and I'm gonna look at them and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I don't want your money. I don't want your house. I don't want your car. I don't want your help.
Yep, that's right.
Like, do I want to be on SSI? No. Is it extra income, to support my family, while having a job? Yes. Come here, baby. And that's okay. And that's where I'm at right now. But it's the matter of the fact that at the end of the day, I have him to look forward to. Come here.
Yep.
I want to show you all this face.
Will provide because you believe and you are trying to set an example to your child as your faith and your belief would have it. And it's all about responsibility. If our politicians cared about the people that vote for them and their constituents as much as they cared about the well-being of their children, man, it would be amazing.
Right, and as a lot of people can see, this little kid, this 19-month-old, if I'm not in the room, he does not want to be in it. He'll find me. And I want to instill in him what my mom has instilled. My mom has taught me, my grandfather has taught me, what Tim and Scarlett have taught me, to help him grow up in this screwed up society. Because at the end of the day, out of everybody, he's what matters most. It's no longer about me. It's no longer, I have a main priority. And see, here's the thing is what these dads in 2020 or in any other years think. You stuck, I'm going to get vulgar here, you stuck your dick in a vagina and created a kid, but you don't want to be there for that child. You want to deny rights to that child. But here I am fighting for my son, to help, to show him, that life is going to throw a curveball at you once in a while. My mom has told me you can do two things. When life knocks you down, you can either stay down for the count or you can get back up and look life in the face and say, you know what, bitch, I'm back. You don't have to get up right away.
Yeah,
you can get up slowly. Take that time to recuperate, which is what I'm instilling in him. Am I a hard parent on my son? Yes, I am. But do I love this kid to death? Yes, I do. And I'm not going to let the government screw over my son like they've screwed over millions of people. I will not stand for it. I will not have it. Because this kid will have the best life that he possibly has, even if it means for me to struggle.
Yeah. And
that's what I believe as a father.
Child. I think you have boundaries. You're keeping him secure. You're letting him know he can trust. And as long as you maintain those boundaries and everything's secure, it doesn't matter how unrich or rich a person is. The fact is you're showing love and the value of human life and the value of his life to you. And that's what it's all about, Dwayne.
You know, and most kids want a father to cuddle to, and I'm gonna cry here for a minute. You know, because I feel for kids without a father. You know, most kids just want a father to cuddle up to. You know, like last night after, you know, I yelled at my son for a minute to get him to come back inside. And he started crying. He picked up his bunny, which is his security blanket that I would never take from him. Don't you think about it. Dean Michael, get away from that coffee table. Away. You know, knock it off. You know, see? Relax. You know, this is what a father deals with, you know, and you know, this is what a father deals with, you know, and like last night, if I wouldn't be in my son's life, he wouldn't have grabbed his bunny, crawled up on me, put his head into my shoulder as I'm sitting on the couch and just dead fell asleep. And because he feels safe in my arms. He feels that comfort when he lays his head above my heart. And he can hear it and he can feel the love that I have for him. When this little kid was born, I'll tell you what, I did not cry until I heard him scream for the first time. I may have shed a tear, but I did not full blown cry until I heard him scream and I knew he was okay.
Mhm.
This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I will not let not one damn person get in the way of his success.
Amen.
That's being a good dad. So he'll be a great kid. Have fun though. So I'm gonna tell you.
Dude, he's a cutie.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Can you wave hi?
What's
Yeah,
his
wait till
name?
he's 18 months.
Yeah,
His
well,
name is
18 years.
His
Ugh.
name is Dean Michael Lanham.
So is
What
it
a
Dean
cutie.
Dean Michael or Dean or what?
When he's behaving, it's Dean. When he starts misbehaving, it's Dean Michael. And if I really have to get his attention, the full name comes out. I barely ever have to use his full name.
Got it. Okay.
Have you asked him what he likes to be called yet? I mean, I know he's young, but what does he respond to?
And who's he voting
Dean.
for?
For me, it's either Dean or Bubba. Bubba. Watch. Come on. Look at that. Bubba.
Just a
Bubba.
the only thing.
Hey. Come here.
All right, guys. You know what? It's 2.5 hours and counting more. So
Wow.
if you have anything I know time flies, don't it? If you have anything you want to say in closing statements, Dwayne, add to yours. That's fine. I'll let Bonnie, and I'm going to say mine. People in the chat room, if you want to. I kind of feel bad because people in the Podbean live chat room can't interact as easy as in this chat room. I encourage you guys on Podbean to go to YouTube and type Freedom Revolution Network and jump in the YouTube chat because I'll get that here in front of me instead of flipping screens because I don't want anybody to feel like they're not being included or ignored. I'm not doing that.
Right.
It's a lot easier if you got onto YouTube or Facebook because I'll get the Facebook ones if that's working. But I know
Facebook, Twitch.
Twitch. Yeah, whatever. But I prefer YouTube because they all pop up for sure, even though I can't stand YouTube, but they're all popping up here right in front of me where it's all in one central system with StreamYard. But Facebook, Freedom Revolution Network, YouTube, Freedom Revolution Network. Use the chat room that's in front of you, and I will see your chat. So I just
You know,
do that.
I'll say this before I leave real quick for my ending statements. You know, fathers, step up. Don't be a father, be a dad. And for all the people that's falling into the traps of the government, I am praying for you. I am literally praying for you. This is when I was talking about the bunny thing, by the way.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah.
He's had this bunny since he was born. I'm not lying.
No, I believe it.
You know, and For the people that are falling in the traps of the government, I'm praying for you. If you're not already in too deep now, you're in a world of hell. Yeah, anybody can be a dad. Anybody can be a dad, but it takes that special person to be a father, is what I meant to say.
Yeah, it's more than a title.
It's more than a title. It's showing them, love, compassion, caring. And I will say this. I love each and every one of y'all. All of our inboxes are open. I mean, crap, you can even text Tim's freaking call-in number if you're going through something. You can message any of us and go like, hey, I need help. Or, hey, I need advice on this. And you know what? None of us are going to be afraid to answer it. But from me and Dean, we would like to say goodbye. It was good seeing you guys. Tim, I love you, brother. Thank you for having me on, and thank you for the great conversation.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Love you guys too.
All right, guys, we're out. Later.
See ya. All right, Bonnie, your turn.
Okay, well, I'm glad I caught you guys because it gave me a chance to express my concerns about things. Also, for Dwayne, I want to remind people that don't have kids, like myself, to support parents out there and offer and make yourself available if they even just need someone to talk to, if they're stressed out. I helped my sister raise my nephew who didn't have a dad in his life, and he's turned out to be a super terrific, successful young man. And we all need to help each other, listen to each other, and we need to listen and think before we act and before we vote. And that's it.
Amen. Okay. Well, thank you for for listening. Number one, for supporting the network, which I don't want to call you out on it, but Scarlett shared what you've been doing. So I'm going to thank you for that, for supporting the network and calling in and not drinking the Kool-Aid with the teachers and getting defensive. And, there's nothing wrong with our education system, but you were involved in it and you're a teacher. So, you're calling it the way that it is. And that's what we need, regardless of what group you're affiliated with, willingly or unwillingly, or association. We all got to call out the truth and the facts and figure it out, because lying to people and misguiding them or tribalism isn't going to get us anywhere. We got to figure this shit out. I hear me. Hello? I heard that. Did you leave? I think she left. Bonnie left. Did you leave, Bonnie? I guess so. She did now. I hung up on her. All right. So thank you to everybody that's lurking in the background, as creepy as that sounds, on Podbean. This show can be downloaded from Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, iPods, whatever they call it anymore. Apple Podcasts, I think they call it now. You can get your own RSS feed like Beyond Pod and download it. You can stream it. You can do whatever you want. Regardless of my opinions, perspective, or whatever, I am not trying to divide and conquer people. I am trying to wake you up. It's called the Original Red Pill Show. Okay? That's it. And in all honesty, when I talk, and I do go back and listen to these shows, sometimes I don't even agree with what I say. But what comes out, and in the moment, call it pulling it from the ether. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But my intent is not to divide or offend. It's to find some type of truth or some type of moral compass or high ground to find out what's really going on. And I think the only way you really wake up is an analogous to a red pill instead of a blue pill, and just live your life. And the government's there to help us and protect us, like they did in 9/11, in the meltdown, and all the other crap that has happened to us peasants. There's going to be a defining moment for you to. And a lot of people have woke up very recently. And I'm not going to name them, but you know what? It's about goddamn time. Sorry, Lord. That you do wake up and you go, what the fuck is going on? And like Bonnie said, we're not a democracy, we're a republic. The power lies within the people. And what I'm seeing in this country right now, maybe it's because I'm 56. And when I was younger and looked at people that said shit, oh, this place is fucked up. It was better way when I was a kid and blah, 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 blah. I'm sure I sound like that to some younger people because your normalized complacency is your reality now. But regardless of that, I don't care what color you are, creed, religion, gender. I don't care about any of that. Is this really we the people in a republic? The Constitution was written for us, not for the government. It's government by the people, we the people, for the people. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Is that the way it is? Yes or no? In my opinion, I use the Native American Indians, which I am Cheyenne Native American Indian, told by my dad, my real father, when I searched them out. My grandma, his mom, is, I don't know the percentage, but he said something like 90% Cheyenne Native American Indian. Okay. We all know what happened to them. Shut up. Here's your reservation. You know, here's your land. And we conquered and destroyed them. Why? Power, greed, land, because we could. Then when people get a little bit out of hand and go, wait a minute, this really wasn't such a good idea, good deal for us. Chief Red Cloud said, you know, don't trust the government. The only thing they promised is to take our land, and they did. And then you get Native American Indians saying, wait a minute. And then the government responds by, well, here's your casino and your free education. Shut up. Then you get people of color that want opportunity, equality, justice, and they throw you into fucking projects. And you comply. And I don't blame you. The Indians complied. People of color complied. Sure, sounds like a great deal. That's fair enough. I can't win against the government, right? I don't blame anybody for making that decision. But you were misled, you were oppressed, and you were lied to. But then when you don't serve a purpose, like the American Indians, because they have no power anymore, they're on federal land, can't really do much. I don't know if they can vote beyond me, but they serve the purpose. People of color serve their purpose. Now, it's time to harvest the illegal immigrants. And unbeknownst to them, because they trust their government. I'm not so sure the Indians did. I know people of color did. Yeah, you're there for us. You're our government. Why wouldn't I trust you? You're taking care of me. As long as you vote for them. Well, come into the country. We'll give you sanctuary cities. We'll give you a driver's license. We'll give you insurance. We'll give you housing. As long as you vote for me. Till you serve a purpose. Then who's next in line? So that's why I say it's not the American Indians' fault. It's not African Americans' fault. It's not the Mexicans' fault. And the next group to fall into the line of people of power to retain power, to oppress you and mislead you. All I ask of you people, quit blaming other people. You are in the position that you're in if you're one of those people because of the government, because they lied to you. I didn't lie to you. Your neighbor didn't lie to you. Nobody lied to you. And it's not because you were stupid. It's because you were trusting. And in my opinion, that's betrayal. So if you get anything out of this episode, in this show, and like Wayne said, and Bonnie said, and anybody else at this network, if you need help or need to reach out, you can call my number anytime. I'll get a voicemail. My cell phone actually rings too because I connected it to it. I'd be more than happy to help people when I can. But you got to remember, I'm starting over. I don't have a pot to piss in. So the only thing I can be help of is talking for support. Because a lot of us need it right now. And in my opinion, I don't think it's going to get any better for a long time. But we got to demand for it to be better. And instead of having two poor of an excuse people running for the highest, most powerful position in the world, sitting there, acting like two grade school kids, calling each other names. Really? That's what we've come to. It's sad. All I'm going to ask is for you to speak up, quit blaming, don't solve your problems with violence, wake up and make the people accountable for what they did. Start a podcast, call in this show. I don't give a fuck what you do. But don't point fingers at other people when we're all in the same boat. It's like throwing a fucking rock through the hull of the ship because you're pissed at everybody else. But you're on the ship, asshole. You're going to sink the ship with everybody on it. Go after the ship builders, the designers, the people that put you in the position. When all you did was trust them because you were lied to for power and votes and greed and manipulation. It's got to stop. Vote for who you want to. This ain't political. I don't care who you vote for. I quite honestly don't. I don't even have the answer to that. I really don't. It's the worst of the two evils, and that's not a good place to be. The lady or the tiger? Fuck, I don't know. It's more like the tiger or the tiger. So anyway, I've ranted enough. Thank you all for this. Please share the show. Please be involved. I don't want you to agree with me. I don't want you to disagree with me. I want you to think. Forget about the siding and the tribalism and this and the blaming and the hate, all that stuff. Forget it. We the people. We the people. And we the people need to wake the fuck up. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks to everybody in the chat room, and have a great night. You have been listening to the original Red Pill Show.